Breaking news into Sports Center. Senior NBA insider Shams Charania joining us now. Shams, what can you tell us?
Jay, Luka Doncic, the All-NBA star for the Lakers, has signed a 3-year, $165 million max contract extension. He was set to be a free agent next offseason, but he commits to a 3-year extension now. And this is 6 months to the day that he was traded in February to the Lakers in arguably the most stunning sports deal ever. And this is a massive change for Luka Doncic. Being in Los Angeles, it's been an emotional last 6 months, but he commits now to the Lakers through the next 3 years. And Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, the new owner Mark Walter, they've built a close rapport with Luka Doncic and his inner circle to get him to commit here. And now Luka Doncic, he's going to be the face of this Lakers organization moving forward. When they acquired him in that trade, they wanted him to be the face for the next decade. And already this offseason, I'm told he's recruited Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton to the Lakers. And most importantly, Jay, about the money as well. In that trade, he lost out on a Supermax contract with the Mavericks this offseason. But in 2028, he's going to have a player option in that deal. He can opt out of the deal and sign a projected 5-year, $417 million contract that would then allow him to recoup all the money that he lost in that Supermax that he missed out on this offseason. So Luka Doncic is committed to the Lakers, 3 years, $165 million today.
Committed to the Lakers for 3 years and with an opportunity to recoup all the money lost after the trade from Dallas to Los Angeles. It looks like a good day to be Luka Doncic. Shams Charania breaking the news here on SportsCenter about Luka's new contract. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, Luka Doncic off to an historic start to his career.
Dollars with a player option for 2028. He was eligible for as much as 4 years and $222 million. But once this 3-year deal expires, he could sign a 5-year Supermax with the Lakers. Doncic would have been eligible for a 5-year, $346 million Supermax if the Mavericks had kept him. Instead, they sent him to LA, an historic and stunning blockbuster trade 6 months ago. CBS Sports NBA reporter Sam Quinn is joining us now. Sam, first, your instant reaction to this big breaking news in the NBA.
You know, it's not terribly surprising. The structure, I think, was the only bit of news that we were really waiting on. Was it going to be the full 4 years where he takes as much money as he can guarantee himself right now? Or was he going to be a little bit more strategic in the structure? That's ultimately what he did. He signs the 2+1. He guarantees himself $165 million right now, but he also sets himself up to become a free agent after year 10, where he can cash in on that 35% Supermax. It makes all the sense in the world, right? If he was unhappy, we probably would have heard about it sooner. It seemed like from the moment he got in LA, it was a good match. They obviously lose in the first round, but it was a successful regular season. They have a good plan moving forward to get him a co-star. So this makes sense. This is one of the best players in the NBA, uniting with the biggest brand in the sport for several years moving forward.
Let's talk winners and losers on this deal here. And let's go with Luka right off the bat. Why is he a winner here?
Well, he gets to be the face of the Lakers, right? If you look through NBA history, that's a pretty coveted position. You start George Mikan, and then it's a pretty straight shot all the way through NBA history, where outside of a few speed bumps, they've pretty much always had one of the best players in the league. Goes to Elgin Baylor, to Jerry West, to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to Magic Johnson, to Shaq, to Kobe, up through LeBron. Basically all throughout NBA history, if you're the best player on the Lakers, odds are you're going to be winning MVPs, winning championships. You're living in Los Angeles. It's very desirable. He's locked himself up there for another few years. He's under contract for at least 3 with the Lakers now. And he's done that to become the face of the most iconic franchise in the NBA. Right now, there are still questions about what the team is going to do moving forward, but it's the Lakers, right? Every time they get a star, they get a second to join him. They get LeBron, they trade for Anthony Davis. They get they sign Shaq as a free agent, then they draft Kobe, et cetera, et cetera. He should feel relatively comfortable that in Los Angeles, he's going to have a chance not only to win championships, but to become an NBA icon with the franchise that's been producing icons for 80 years now.
So the laundry list as to why Luke is a big winner here is pretty obvious. And again, it's a laundry list. There's a lot of reasons why, but In your mind, is there a little bit that he's actually kind of a loser in this deal because of what happened with Dallas?
Yeah, if he had stayed in Dallas, he would have been able to sign a supermax 5 years. The projection right now would be around $336 million. Obviously, he loses some money in this arrangement through no fault of his own, right? The supermax, the rules are set up so that you can only sign it with either the team that drafted you or a team that traded for you in your first 4 years, situation like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Tyrese Halliburton. He didn't ask for this trade, right? He didn't force it. That's what the Supermax rules were designed to discourage. They don't want you forcing a move to a desirable team and then also getting paid on top of it. He was traded in the dead of night. He had no control over this. He wanted to stay with Dallas. So even though he does get to a desirable situation in Los Angeles, it's not like he got traded to the Wizards. It's not like he got traded to the Hornets. But still, he loses out on quite a bit of money because of a trade that he didn't engineer. So in that sense, yeah, he did miss out on a little bit here. He's not going to get quite as much as he would have with Dallas. So in a small sense, he is something of a loser here.
Yeah, that money is gonna come eventually. He will make it, but for the sake of the conversation we're having, winning and losing at the same time, but yet still coming out on top. Speaking of winners, the Lakers, big winners in this, right?
Oh, absolutely, right? They traded for him with only 1.5 guaranteed years left on his contract. And because he didn't force that trade, you kind of had to be a little bit on edge, right? They had 6 months basically to prove to him, hey, Los Angeles is where you should spend at least the next several years, if not the entire rest of your prime. They lose in the first round. They have all of this drama with LeBron this offseason. He would have been justified if he would have said, hey, I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm going to play this out until free agency. Or, hey, maybe there's some other team that I'd want to play with. At least, before San Antonio signs De'Aaron Fox, there would have been some pretty, desirable destinations out there in free agency for him next year. If he'd wanted to go compete for championships as his first priority, he might have been able to handpick a better situation. But ultimately, the Lakers secure the signature, as they so often do. It's very, very rare when NBA players will say no to the Los Angeles Lakers. And now that they have him locked up, they can focus on getting star number 2. If they're going to go out recruiting, they don't have to worry about guys saying, I'm interested, but, Luka's not locked up. I'm not sure. Do I want to come there and risk him leaving? That's not really on the table now. So you look forward to free agency a few years from now, 2027. At least right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic are both slated to become free agents. That could change through an extension. That could change through a trade. But for the moment, both of them set to become free agents in 2 off seasons. Luka will be there, and he will be ready to recruit them.
Yeah, 2026, a lot of teams had that circled as a potential time where maybe they could get in on the Luka sweepstakes. So who right now, after seeing this deal, is kind of kicking themselves because they know they probably have to go back to the drawing board for next year?
Well, the short answer is every team in the league, right? If you had any designs on cap space whatsoever, Luka was the player that you wanted to use them on. I think San Antonio, with the Fox situation coming, had probably more or less moved on. They weren't going to preserve their cap space. They were going to sign him. The 2 teams that I look at as the really logical cap space teams were the